It feels so good to be back home. I walked in the door this morning and this angel over here said, "Welcome home." And I thought, yes, welcome home. It's so good to see our family and be back in your beautiful community. So thank you so much for the invitation to be back with you. And so excited that we are on our journey to miracles together. And we were singing this song, Holy Now, and there's a lyric in there that says, read a questioning child's face. And I was thinking of my nephew who, I'd say when he was 9 years old, came out with Amy's nephews and my other nephew, and we have every year what we call twice a year Bliss Camp on our 30 acres down in southern Indiana. So we invite the boys out and we do fun things like, skip rocks in the creek and go on hikes. We even do archery with the blunt ends, of course, because once we saw them go, "No, it's my turn," you're like, "Wait, don't do that." It's very good. So we have them out, and they look forward to it, and we look forward to it. So I was very surprised to get a call from my brother saying, "Sis, Matthew doesn't want to come." What? This is what he looks forward to the most. I can't believe he doesn't want to come. I was like, "What's going on?" He said, "Well, kind of got in the bathroom this morning, and he kind of got my razor, and he kind of shaved the middles out of his eyebrows. So now he has 4 on each side." So I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, what could we do?" I'm thinking and he goes, "Well, don't worry about it." His wife had gotten the razor and finished the job, so now he had no eyebrows. So I was like, well, all right, that might be a little better than 4 on each side. But his whole concern was, he can't come out to Bliss Camp. We're doing all these outdoor adventures and be eyebrowless. What were the boys going to do? How were they going to tease him? And I said, look, we got this. We'll pick up all the other boys first. We'll have the talk. Matthew looks a little different. Don't react. We're going to have a good time. We were counting on the fact that children have short attention spans, and it all worked out. We pulled up, picked up the boys, got Matthew last. They had a little funny, this is the questioning child's face thing, and I'm like, okay. And they were perfect gentlemen, and we had a great evening, roasted marshmallows, hung out. Woke up the next morning, we were making what we call Bliscuits and gravy. That's our version. And I'm in the kitchen cooking, and I can see he's over here doing something, but I'm just making the gravy, checking the oven for the biscuits, and he comes over here and he's like, "Nene." I'm like, "Yeah, buddy?" He's like, "Nene." And I look over, and he looks like this. I don't know if you can see. I've got one of them up here. And I was like, wow. And he's like, "I just wanted to make it look like I was thinking about something." My sister-in-law had sent him with an eyebrow pencil. So he drew one down here and one arched like that. And I thought, golly, these boys have been so good, and now he's going to walk out on that deck with this expression, and how's that going to unfold? Well, I made sure I walked out behind him and gave them again, and they went along, and he looked like this, eating his Bliscuits and gravy, and but I wanted to tell that story, and I'll tie it in here in a second. And I first wanted to say that when we're given the honor of sharing the message and being in the presence of lovely souls like yourselves, we try to take a survey of the kinds of things that have been surfacing in and among the people around us, what's been circulating around us. And in recent weeks, it seems that we're having conversations with people and counsel with people and finding that emotional wounds from childhood are tethered and being triggered by things that are happening now. And I'll give an example. Matthew is my first example. Just a year and a half before the eyebrow incident, Matthew was run over by an SUV. He was out riding his bike, and the person watching him left him unattended, and the SUV backed over him, knew it ran over something, pulled back over him. Thank you, Spirit, that the frame of the bike provided a shield over his body. His skin was lacerated. There were no whites to his eyes anymore. His eyes were just completely blood red. His liver was compressed. But truly a miracle. When they interviewed Matthew on TV to ask him how he thought he survived this, he said, "God made me SpongeBob." Yeah. SpongeBob, it gets compressed and then bounces back up again. So thank you, God, for making him SpongeBob. But as a 17-year-old now, Matthew found himself experimenting with self-injury. And after my workshopping with him and counsel with him, he and I have come to discover that it was an attempt to control his own pain now. And he's having things triggering him now that are causing him to self-injure. What happened to Matthew was that innocence that we all so deserve and we come in here with. He was suddenly thrust out of that at 6 years of age into a reality of his own mortality. Our friend Dee that we just went up and visited in Northeast Ohio, at the age of 8, her mother went into severe depression and could no longer care for Dee and her little sister. So Dee assumed the role of mother and took care of herself, took care of her sister, and even took care of Mom. And now her mom has been diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, and Dee has her mom in her house, caring for the mom who didn't care for her. And that tether to that past emotional wound is coming up every time she's doing something for Mom. Another friend of ours who's about to turn 40, one of the gentlest men I know, found anger surfacing in him and could not figure out where it was coming from, and is starting to realize there's a tether that goes back to his teenage years when his parents went through a bitter divorce, and he became a man at age 14, providing and protecting for his mother. And he's realizing now that he's raising these teenage boys. He didn't get those frivolous teenage years. The stories keep surfacing. I imagine in this room there are many people who were thrust out of that innocent period, whether it was in childhood, adolescence, adulthood, and into realities and responsibilities at a very early age. Well, I have good news for you. You had an original face before any of this happened. You had an original self that is still the seed within you. There is a Zen koan that asks the question, what was your original face before your parents were born? And it's, if you're familiar with the koans, that they ask you to contemplate this question. What was your original face before your parents were born, before certain things were programmed into you, ideas, beliefs, behaviors? And when I contemplated it myself, what came to me was, what was my original face before my parents were born? But what was my parents' original face before their parents were born? What was my grandparents' original face before their parents were born? And we trace it back, and we trace it back, and we trace it back, and we get all the way back to the great source. And what are those qualities? Those qualities are love and compassion and peace and ecstatic joy and all these wonderful things. The list goes on and on and on. That is your purest essence. That is your original innocence. So we recognize that somewhere along the way, because of these responsibilities and this thrust into reality that we've taken on, a part of that has been siphoned, diluted. We've been detoured somewhat from our original destiny. Our birthright is something that we've become blinded to because we put on veils over that original face to survive, just to make it. Well, if we trace this back to those original qualities, we recognize that there was a divine programming into our very beings, into our spirit, into the core of who we are. Just like the seed. You take a seed and you think about it. There's a plan in this seed that has been programmed in that with the right care and nurturing, that seed has the possibility of growing into a thriving plant, productive plant. But if it isn't caretaken, if it isn't nurtured, if it isn't watered, it might wither. So we have to go back and look at those tethers, the ways that those tethers are weeds that have woven in and around that original design. We go back and look at those and we realize that all of that programming is still there. All of that infusion into your being and your original essence is still there. But we have had to put on false faces and try on personas and do things just to survive. We adapted our behavior to survive. We adopted beliefs to survive. And now we get the chance to peel those things away, to let it wash over us, to let it be, as our meditation song said this morning. There's a quote by Nathaniel Hawthorne that says, "No man for any considerable period can wear one face to himself and another to the multitude without finally getting bewildered as to which may be true." It's confusing. It's confusing. Sometimes it feels easier to be in that veiled face or put that mask on, but really that original self is saying, discover me. Some people call that your highest self. Some people call it the witness. And I want to suggest to you this morning that we enter the witness protection program. But not to get a new identity, to get our original identity, to reclaim that for ourselves. Somebody was just sharing with us yesterday, I won't say politicians' names, but one of them was saying, we got to get back into the shame game. We have to get back into the reclaim game. Enough shaming of ourselves, enough shaming of each other, because what we understand when we trace that back, what was our original face before our parents were born, what was their parents' original face before their parents were born, and so on, then we have to go, oh, there's a reason why this cycle has continued. And I get a choice right now. I didn't get a choice as a child. Maybe I didn't get a choice as an adolescent. But I get a choice now to reclaim that original face, to reclaim that original destiny. And I get a choice to forgive them and have grace and compassion. Some people say, my family has a curse. I've heard people say that. I want to say to you, you have an original inheritance that precedes any curse you could ever believe to be on your family. But what has to shift is our thoughts. They've proven that our thoughts flow and throw. Maybe they throw too. Through grooves. And every time we have a thought, it creates the groove just kind of, think of how erosion happens. And where's the flow going to go? It's going to go into the gully. But you have the power to create new grooves. And this is when we get to step in, polish that mirror. Rumi says, unfold your own myth. Just thinking about that. Unfold means it's folded. It's peeling back, unfolding it, finding out why you are here, and reclaiming your identity. Because what's happened is we've had an identity theft. right? If someone came in and said right now, I want to take your identity, and by the way, I want to take your inheritance, and is that okay with you guys? Is that? Now you get the choice. You get the choice to say, no, I am reclaiming my inheritance. I'm reclaiming my identity. In the same way, if I said to you, you totally get to redesign yourself today. There are people who would say, all right, I'm going to immediately go to, some people would go to the physical. Maybe you want that six-pack, or you want, a little more hair here, a little less hair, I don't know where. You want to decrease this part, you want to increase other parts, and you know what I'm saying? You go to that place. And I get to the physical point because we can often envision how we would like to make ourselves appear if we could be larger than life. The good news this morning is that in the spiritual realm, you can be a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious cosmic creator of your own reality. You do get to redesign yourself. Even with limited ability and limited funding, we could do everything we could in the physical to get you sort of where you want to be. But there is limitless possibility in that spiritual realm to be who you want to be. You've got to remember that you're made in the image and very likeness of love and intelligence, creativity and joy. All these are your original inheritance. No one can take those away from you anymore, so we have to cut those tethers. What happens when something's tethered and it's full of spirit? It soars, right? We've got to cut those tethers, but we've got to go back and polish that mirror to see the original reflection, that original face. One of the ways that you know you're on that path, this is more good news for you this morning, is that you're on a spiritual journey. The very fact that you're present in this room this morning, the very fact that you are a part of this community means you're already polishing that mirror. The very fact that you have a longing, I imagine every single one of you has a deeper longing for more. That longing truly is for that original face, for that highest self, for the witness. What we need and want most of all is to allow those original gifts to flow through and express through us. That's what we're longing for. We talk to people all the time and they say, I just quit my career of 20 years. I don't know what I want to do. Yet when they spend enough time and they get back to those innate gifts and talents that they were infused with, they find out that's what they're here to do. It's peeling away the layers. It's unfolding. And I want to say to you right now that existence is whispering in your ear, calling you back home. Thank you for welcoming me home this morning. Spirit is saying to you, welcome home. You're already here, just as our meditation said this morning. Joy is already present. Peace is already present. Love is already present. Just waiting for you to look in that mirror and see the beauty of your original innocence, to see the beauty and the power and the magnificence of that original design. I want to ask you to close your eyes for a moment. And I want to read so perfectly the meditation song just before we started the talk was from Ricky Byers Beckwith. And wouldn't it be perfect that the embodiment today was written by Michael Bernard Beckwith to close the talk. So I want you to embody this into your very being. Right here and right now, I announce the truth that my life is the life of God. I fully accept my spiritual inheritance of the qualities of spirit and activate them within me. Pure love, intelligence, wisdom, and beauty emanate from my soul. Everything works together for my good. The entire universe is conspiring on its own behalf to release life energy through me in all aspects of my life. All the ways in which I was previously tied to my human identity that would have convinced me that I'm separate from the whole are now dissolved. They were never the truth about who and what I am. I am beyond my personal history, beyond my ego, beyond the ego's opinions, concepts, and points of view. I no longer see myself only with the mortal eye, but with the inner eye of the spirit. In its reflection, I see my inherent purity, my innately awakened state. I not only see who and what I really am, I act from this place of awareness. From the mundane to the sublime, I infiltrate all my thoughts and actions with the qualities of my truest nature. My life is the life of God. God's life is my life. I am what thou art what I am. In this realization, I know all my needs are met. I know I am an opening, an instrumentality through which the eternal shines forth and expresses through. This is my true identity, and I wear it well. This word that I've spoken falls upon a fertile consciousness. I declare my readiness to live that which I believe. The conditions are now ripe within me to be a fully franchised expression of the dynamic potential, vitality, and vigor that I am. I no longer fall prey to identity theft, to the false belief that I'm separate from the whole of existence. I serve this truth today in my thoughts, speech, and actions. And I'm filled with the joy of not only knowing, but of being who and what I truly am. And so it is. And I say to you, I just wanted to make it look like I was thinking about something. So we have a song to share with you this morning. Thank you so much. This song is called The Big To Do, and it's about all the things that we were told or we tell ourselves that we need to do. But all we are here to do is to love. And so we send this song out to you from our hearts. Thank you so much.
This song is a gift, a blessing that is on our brand new CD that we just released. It's just thank you. and they're modeling our t-shirts too. How about that? We do have our new CD with us, and we also have some organic made in the USA t-shirts that say love all as well. We're just so honored to share in this love with you, and we send this out from our hearts. We also welcome you to join us, please, for a workshop, 12:15 to 15. We're going to continue to delve deeper into your original self, into your original purpose, your original face and heart, and tap into your original joy and pulling up more of that into your life. So feel free to spend a couple of hours with us this afternoon. We welcome you too. All you gotta do is love. Somebody told me that they go under the sun. Somebody told me easier said than done. Somebody told me they were not alone. Boy, you learn that you know. Somebody told me to do over no way. Somebody There's only one thing on that great big to-do list you gotta do, and that's love, love, come back to you, who's better to be. Somebody told me all the world's a stage. You're the star, oh play. Gotta rise up singing, gotta rise up swinging. Gotta give thanks for the day God give. Life its meaning as I wake, as I work, as I walk, as I think, as I drive, as I talk, as I give, as I take, as I make, as I play, as I plan, as I pray. As I think, as I drive, as I talk, as I give, as I take, as I make, as I play, as I plan, as I pray. I do all these things, but if I don't have love, what does it mean? What does it mean? All I got to do is love. All I really got to do is love. All I got to do is love. Really got to do is love. Oh, oh, oh,
great appetizer and a great main course in your lesson. Don't leave before you get dessert in the class. So I would like to invite the ushers forward and let us now prepare to offer our gifts. Please take your offering in your hand. If you are using the e-giving button on our website, please hold the amount that you give in your mind. And as we receive this offering, let us know our offering application. Do you say this with me together? Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful.
Surprise. So abundant, I get an extra song because we did it in the wrong place. But you know, life is perfect how it unfolds. It is. This is another song off of our new CD, As You Wish. It's called Something Better. Because when you think you've hit a dead end or you've got nothing else going for you, you've got to believe it if you want to receive it. There is something better for you.